This week on Irish Bandit Revolution, my 5 returns as I count down my 5 all-time favorite Disney movies, excluding anything from Pixar. What made the list? Let's find out now. Irish Bandit Revolution begins now. Welcome back to another edition of Irish Bandit Revolution. I hope everyone is having a great week. I, as always, am your host, the one, the only, the second Irish Bandit. This week on Irish Bandit Revolution, my 5 returns for the first time in Season 11, and we're going to be talking about my 5 all-time favorite Disney movies, excluding anything from Pixar. We're talking about the classics here, all the way from the very first classic of Snow White to today. And I absolutely love Disney movies. You know, you see this guy who loves heavy metal and has long hair and likes professional wrestling. And Disney movies are one of my absolute favorite things in the world. From the movies we're talking about, and even in some of the movies that I don't get into, even if they're not on the honorable mentions list, you have some fantastic movies like Hercules, Hunchback of Notre Dame. They took a lot of inspiration from the classic literature. Even some of their movies are like retellings of certain Shakespearean plays, which we're going to get into with one of the entries on the list. So let's not waste any more time. Let's get right down to it. This one is probably the most recent one on the list. Came out in 2007 too. Not great fanfare, but I absolutely love this movie. I love the message of it. It has great animation for being computer generated, but still fantastic. It has a great villain in this movie, in the bowler hat guy. Coming in at number 5 is Meet the Robinsons. Meet the Robinsons focuses on a young orphan boy named Lewis who time travels through time, apparently, of course, to find the family he never knew in the fantastical world of 2037, which actually, if you think about it, isn't that far off at this point. When this came out in 2007, 2007, that was only 30 years off, and we're close to that now. We're only 20 years away from that. Hip hop and they're not hip hopping, they're like lounge singers in the movie. And dogs that wear glasses are as common as talking dinosaurs. Oh my god, that dinosaur in an amazing twist, Lewis discovers that the fate of the future rests in his hands, but he can't save it alone. He'll need every bit of help he can get from the wonderfully wacky Robinson family, who will help him learn to keep moving forward and never stop believing in himself. Meet the Robinsons had just a fantastic story behind it. But premise behind it. That's what I mean. It's of don't be afraid of failure. Because I'm going to get off a little bit of a rant here, but everybody these days, failure. Ooh. Meet the Robinsons teaches you that don't be afraid to fail. From failure comes success. Like, if you succeed the first time out, so what? But if you keep on failing, you learn from your mistakes, and you keep moving forward. And there's a great quote at the end of the movie from Walt Disney. I wish I could remember the whole thing. Honestly. 1 second, let me look it up here. Okay, thanks for bearing with me. I found the quote. Around here, however, we don't look backwards for very long. We keep moving forward, opening up new doors and doing new things. Because we're curious. And curiosity keeps leading us down new paths. That is such a great quote and such a wonderful one to end off with. I absolutely love everything about Meet the Robinsons. I love the characters in it. They're so delightfully wacky and charismatic. You have the old grandpa who's lost his teeth. Can you help me find my teeth? You have Carl, the youngest of the Robinson clan, who is helping Lewis navigate this strange new world. You have Bowler Hat Guy, who is just a fantastic villain. He's so dense, and his hat is the brains of the outfit. I'm not going to get into too much detail about this movie because there's a twist in here that you might see coming, But it's one I didn't see, and it was a great twist and made the movie very, very enjoyable for myself. And it was just a delight to watch. And it actually had a pretty great soundtrack to it. It had the Jonas Brothers. That was a bit of a. The Rob Thomas song, Small Little Wonders, is just the perfect song to go with this, especially at the end of the movie. Let's get to number 4. Coming in at number 4. This one came out in 1994. I may be a little off, 94, 95, somewhere in between there. Anywhere between 93 and 95. I don't remember exactly, but it is a fantastic movie, and it is one of my all-time favorite Robin Williams performances. We're talking about Aladdin. So I said between 93 and 95. No, I was way off. Aladdin came out in 1992. Really means I should really research the things that I talk about instead of doing it on the fly. But what fun would that be? When a street rat Aladdin frees a genie from a lamp, he finds his wishes granted. However, he soon finds that the evil other. Wow, this is not worded correctly. He soon finds that the evil has other plans for the lamp. They must mean the evil Jafar has other plans for the lamp, and for Princess Jasmine. But can Aladdin save Princess Jasmine and his love for her after she sees that he isn't quite as he appears to be? It was initially released, I should say, in November of 1992, and had a great cast behind it. Other than Robin Williams, of course, you had Scott Wagner, best known as Steve from Full House. Gilbert Gottfried was absolutely fantastic as Jafar. No, Gilbert Gottfried didn't play Jafar. He played Iago. I am so frazzled after that last entry. Yes, Gilbert Gottfried played Iago, so you had a really great cast with two fantastic comedians. Yeah, I like Gilbert Gottfried's comedy. Sue me. But the character who made this whole movie was the genie, voiced by the late, great Robin Williams. From what I remember hearing is that the animators animated the genie around Robin Williams' performance. Like normally they do it a different way. They animate the character first, then the voice actor comes in, does his part, and then they sync it all up. But they animated the genie around Robin Williams because he improvised so much. And he was just fantastic in this role. They couldn't have picked anyone better. They tried to recast the genie for Return of Jafar movie, which was backdoor pilot to the Aladdin series, which had Dan Castellaneta, best known as the voice of Homer Simpson, as the genie, but he wasn't as good as Robin. He was okay, but he wasn't as good as Robin Williams. Robin Williams will always be the genie, and you had some great improvisational skills and some great impressions on Robin Williams' part. You know, doing Rodney Dangerfield with this whole, I can't believe it, getting beaten by a rug, and his Jack Nicholson impression during it. Robin Williams absolutely made this movie, and is a fantastic movie that has stood the test of time. And we always wondered at the very beginning of the movie, when you see the merchant, he was voiced by Robin Williams. We always wondered if that may have been the genie. The directors say yes. I don't know. I'm kind of hesitant to say either way on that one, but it was fantastic either way. And like I said, Aladdin is still a movie that stands the test of time to this very day. Coming in at number 3 is another great movie. This came out just a few years after Aladdin. You had a great casting, including Matthew Broderick, Jeremy Irons. I can see James Earl Jones. I was going to say Mr. CNN, but he's also known as Darth Vader. James Earl Jones, Nathan. No, not Nathan Fillion. This is before his time. Oh God, I can see his face. Anyway, this is another great movie and borrows heavily from the Shakespeare play Hamlet, but this time with lions in Africa. Coming in at number 3 is The Lion King. So the name I was looking for was Nathan Lane, who voiced Timon in the movie. But yes, Lion King came out in June of 1994, and this Disney animated feature follows the adventures of a young lion named Simba, the heir to Father Mufasa. This is Simba Zoe. No, Jonathan Taylor Thomas played the voice of young Simba. Either way, the Disney animated feature follows the adventures of young lion Simba, the heir to his father Mufasa. Simba's wicked uncle Scar, Rowan Atkinson. What? Okay, somebody messed up here. Plots to usurp Mufasa's throne by luring father and son to a stampede of wildebeest, but Simba escapes. Simba returns as an adult. Jeremy. What? Okay, somebody really messed up on this one because this is not true at all. But whatever. The cast, well, wow, the cast include, like I said, James Earl Jones as Mufasa, Jeremy Irons as Scar, Matthew Broderick as adult Simba, Nathan Lane as Timon, Rowan Atkinson as Zazu. Rowan Atkinson, best known as Mr. Bean, one of the best characters in the movie. The great Jim Cummings as one of the hyenas, Whoopi Goldberg as Shenzi, Cheech Marin as Bonsai, another one of the three hyenas. Sorry, this thing just totally got me off track here. Robert Guillaume played Rafiki, and like I said, Jonathan Taylor Thomas played the young Simba. Anyway, let's get past that because that totally threw me off. I absolutely love Lion King. It is a great movie. It is wonderfully animated, wonderfully acted, has one of the most heart-wrenching moments in it that I have to admit that since my own father passed away, I have not wanted to watch The Lion King because I know what that part did to me as a child. The thought of losing my father was just something I couldn't dream about. And since he's passed away, I haven't wanted to watch Lion King because I know that part's just going to reduce me to a quivering mass of jelly. But The Lion King, again, fantastic movie, and it really takes a lot of Hamlet from Shakespeare, because you have the treacherous uncle who usurps the throne of the father. The son comes back and challenges the uncle, and the uncle kind of slips into the marriage bed. I don't want to think about that. Rule 34. But I absolutely love The Lion King, and it is a great, great movie and one of the true Disney classics. Another Walt Disney classic that takes a lot from the legend, but this time, instead of having it as humans, puts them as anamorphic animal creatures. Fantastic movie. It's one of the first movies that I remember as a child watching and loving. Love the movie, love the legend. Coming in at number 2, Robin Hood. I love Robin Hood as much today as I did when I was a kid. Just the animation is fantastic. The voices are all perfect and fit the characters to a T. The music is wonderful. Although I do have to give it a few points off because one of the songs in it, Whistle Stop, was used for that god-awful Hampton the Hamster Dance song, which to this day, every time I hear it, I want to take a couple ice picks and just jam my ears so I never have to hear that abomination ever again. But that hasn't faded my love for this movie and everything in it. I think Sir Peter Ustinov as Prince John is just fantastic. He just plays this wonderfully smarmy character. I think Brian Bedford, late Brian Bedford, he passed away last year, I think, as Robin Hood. He just comes off as heroic and just charming. The voice of Maid Marian fit her very well. The voice of Sir Hiss was great because he had that to his voice. This is just a wonderful, wonderful movie overall. Oh, and the voice of Little John. He was in a lot of Disney movies back in the 60s and 70s. He played Thomas O'Malley most notably in the Aristocats. So this is just a great movie, but this is also one of those movies where, again, I take points off because they recycled a lot of animation from other Disney movies, like during the musical number The Phony King of England. You see Maid Marian dancing, and she dances the same way as the female cat in the Aristocats. So they recycled a lot from a lot of their different movies during that time, which I didn't really dig on, but I can see why they did it as a cost-cutting measure. But still, either way, Robin Hood is a fantastic movie. And if you know the legend of Robin Hood, you're going to love this movie. There's been a lot of different Robin Hoods in the past. Some of my favorites include this one. I really loved Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves movie with Kevin Costner. And, of course, Robin Hood, Men in Tights, starring Cary Elwes and directed by Mel Brooks. Just a fantastic movie that kind of takes from everything, even a little bit from the Disney Robin Hood when Robin starts singing to Maid Marian. So, but this one is the first one that I ever saw about Robin Hood, and it really got me into legend, much like something like The Sword and the Stone did, got me into the legend of King Arthur. Oh, I should have put that on the list too. I should have at least put that on the honorable mentions. Only one honorable mention though, and it's a good one. We're going to talk about this more on IGTV tomorrow, and I'll get into that a little later on. But here is one quick honorable mention for you. Join me on IGTV tomorrow at 2:30 p.m. Central Standard Time, and I'll get more into Fox and the Hound and why I love it so much and why it made the honorable mentions. And the only one that made the honorable mentions, honestly. I could have put more on here, but I felt Fox and the Hound was the best honorable mention. Anyway, let's get down to it. My number one favorite Disney film. Now, this one may be cheating because this is a hybrid of live action and animation. And normally, I don't like the animated live action movies all that much. Didn't really care for Mary Poppins. I know its historical significance in the Disney pantheon. I do. I understand it. I just didn't care for it. I didn't care for Bed Knobs and Broomsticks either. That one, I can take or leave. Mary Poppins is alright. I watched it again recently, and it's an alright movie, honestly. Of course, then again, a couple friends and I were riffing on it the whole time. Oh, children, get to bed. Anyway, this one is far and away my favorite Disney movie of all time. I love this movie, everything about it, the music, the acting in it, the animation when it comes to Elliot. I didn't think I'd love the remake, and I actually liked it a lot. Did I like it as much as the original movie? No. Still a great remake though. My all-time favorite Disney movie. I did a then and now of this. Pete's Dragon. Much like Robin Hood, this is one of the first Disney movies that I watched, and I absolutely loved it from the first time that I saw it. I don't know what it was about it, but this movie absolutely enthralled me from the very beginning, and it still does to this very day. I don't know whether it's the maritime setting, having that maritimer blood in my body, seeing how my father grew up in Eastern Canada. I don't know if it was the music, because the music was just so perfect. I don't know if it was the acting by such legendary actors like Helen Reddy, like Mickey Rooney. Jim Dale is fantastic as Doc Terminus. Red Buttons as his assistant Hoagie. Everything was just wonderful about that. It had a wonderful villain, had a wonderful set of villains actually, with Doc Terminus and Hoagie, and with the Gogan family, who were chasing after young Pete and were trying to get him back. They were just horrible, horrible people. And Shelley Winters just perfectly played Ma Gogan. I don't remember. Lena Gogan, that's it. And then you had Elliot, who was probably the star of the show. Definitely the star of the show. Big, friendly dragon. But if you were mean to Pete, he would put up with that. Like, he could go from And the voice actor who portrayed him just did a fantastic job. I love this movie, and I love it even more to this very day. It's it probably is the maritime setting, and knowing that my dad loved this movie as well. I think that's the reason why he loved it as well. Because it had the maritime setting and it reminded him of growing up in New Brunswick. And every time I hear the song Candle on the Water in this movie, it reminds me of my mom and dad, and it just breaks me up inside every time I hear it. Especially more so of my dad, because I know how much he loved this movie. And Pete's Dragon to this day is my all-time favorite Disney movie. Now, like I said earlier, I was originally against the idea of a remake or reboot for Pete's Dragon. But then I watched it because I rented it cheap on Google Play, honestly. It was like 99 cents. I don't see anything else. Yeah, okay. And I really liked Pete's Dragon, the remake. It was a great movie. It didn't follow the original at all. Only original things you had about it were a young boy named Pete and his dragon named Elliot, and that's it. It took the maritime setting of the East Coast and brought it to the Northwest, to a logging community. And you didn't have the subplot of Dock Terminus or the Gogans. But it was really engaging, really just a beautifully shot movie from start to finish. And one of the few movies that I can actually say I like Carl Urban in, because I don't think he's much of an actor. So, like, this, Dread, and the Lord of the Rings movies are the only movies that I like him in. And everything else can piss off when it starts Carl Urban. When I see Carl Urban, it's like, no. But back to the original movie, I love this movie to this very day. It is a centerpiece in my collection. Of the 5 movies that I talked about, I only own 3 of them. Pete's Dragon, I forgot which one. Pete's Dragon, Robin Hood, and Meet the Robinsons. I own those 3. I would love to own The Lion King and Aladdin, put them in my collection. Someday soon, I hope, but these 5 movies stand above all the other great Disney movies as my 5 all-time favorite Disney movies. And you notice there was not a single Pixar movie in that bunch, because I already did that list. But yes, these are 5 absolutely fantastic movies you should watch. Well, that about wraps it up for this week's episode. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, don't forget to give this episode a big thumbs up. I'd really appreciate that. What's your favorite Disney movie? Let me know in the comments section down below, and I'll be sure to read it. Don't forget to share this video anywhere you can on Facebook, Twitter, or whatever your favorite social media outlet is. Over my shoulder right here, you're going to see a link to last week's episode where we're talking about Breaking Bad and ranking all 5 seasons. I kind of cheated a little bit, but you can go back and watch that episode to see what I mean. In the description down below, you're going to see a link to my Redbubble store where you can pick up all your Irish Bandit merchandise. We have everything you could ask for, including stickers, t-shirts, ladies' racerbacks, tank tops, leggings, coffee cups, travel mugs, phone cases for iPhone and Samsung. Whatever your heart's desire, you can pick it up there at the Redbubble shop. Again, that link will be in the description down below. If you're new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe. And if you're already subscribed, don't forget to tap that bell and you'll be notified whenever I go live, whenever I upload a new video, be it Irish Bandit Revolution, Taste Test, High Five, Fire or Expired, whatever your heart desires for videos on this channel. Next week, I will be back with a brand new episode of Irish Bandit Revolution. This one's for the wrestling fans, so if you're not a wrestling fan, you might want to skip this episode, but if you are a wrestling fan, we're going to talk about, can any of the other big promotions in the United States, be it Ring of Honor, Impact Wrestling, Lucha Underground, can they be competition with the WWE? So we're going to get into more detail on that next week. Like I said, if you're a wrestling fan, don't miss next week's episode. All right, well, that does it. And guys, I hope you have a great week, and I will talk to you again very soon. I'm the Bandit, and I'm out of here. Take care.